quarterbacks. How does this sort of add to the challenge of trying to figure out what you guys have on offense and getting everything to go while you're also, as you have said, trying to compete for this division?
Well, it's very challenging, and again, it's hopefully our coaches have been doing a good job in trying to teach these young guys and get these young guys that, these guys weren't with us really through training camp. I mean, Tony Brown came in near the end of camp and got a little bit of work. Jeff Badette, somebody we brought in a few weeks ago, and he's gotten a little bit of work. So, we'll see how they handle it, and we'll see how many opportunities they get on Sunday.
Hey, Ron, I know you kind of grew up with this franchise a little bit as one of your favorites. But with all the weirdness of this year and COVID and everything else, the way the season has started, does this Dallas thing, does this game feel like what you thought it would feel like playing Dallas in that rivalry?
It's kind of tough because of exactly what you're saying. This may be one of those things that I'll really feel once walk into the stadium on Sunday, and there's not going to be any fans in the stands. It'll be limited number, actually, very limited number to friends and family. And that's about it. So it's going to be a little different than what I thought. I can't wait for some normalcy to really be able to experience it because, again, this is one of the one of the original franchises. This is one of the really good rivalries in the NFL. The Cowboys and the Washington football team. So I'm excited to be part of it. It's just unfortunately, the part of it right now is a little bit weird.
I was wondering also if you feel any kind of kinship with McCarthy as two guys who, you both got your first head coaching jobs. You went to Super Bowls. You were there a long time. Now you've both come into these places in this division, and you've had injuries and unsettled quarterback situations and things. Is there any kind of, do you look at any kind of bond there with him, or am I making too much of that?
I think you're making too much of it. I mean, I'll be honest with you. To me, the real bond is just the fact that he's an NFL head coach. It's a small fraternity. It's a tight-knit group of guys, and there's a mutual respect that you feel for each other, more so than anything else.
What would you make of Kyle Allen after looking at the tape, and what would you like from him this coming weekend?
I was pleased with them. I thought he did some really good things. I thought he made some really good decisions, moved the ball when we had to. Obviously the two things you'd want back are the two takeaways. But other than that, he did the things that we're expecting of him, that he needs to do. And again, he put us in position that we could have won the football game. And that much I think is promising.
Pete? If not, Scott. If not, JP.
All right, hey, Coach Scott Abraham, ABC7. You look at this Dallas defense, and it's a defense that's given up 34 points in 5 straight games. As a head coach, is this kind of like an opportunity where if there's ever a time for the offense to maybe get right or get rolling, this is the game to do it?
Well, I don't believe in that attitude. You could have said the same thing about last week's game. Last week would have been the right opportunity to get things rolling. So I don't think that's fair. I really don't. I mean, I've heard a couple of people say, "Oh, well, Dallas is playing the Washington football team." You got to be careful with that crap. I really do think that, Scott. I just don't. I never bought into that. These are professional football players. There is a sense of pride, and this is a rivalry matchup, and anything goes within the division. To me, within the division, all bets are off. There's no telling what's going to happen.
And a quick follow-up. Obviously, Dallas played on Monday, and I assume you probably watched it alongside your coaching staff. How much of an advantage is that for you guys to have, Dallas play on Monday? You get to watch the whole game, kind of decipher what they're doing. They're going on a short week. How much is there an advantage there?
There can be. What I was hoping for was overtime, and it went all the way. It went the whole 10 minutes, and then they lost. That would have really been good. Because you want them coming in tired and disappointed. But the advantage can be to the home team, because they've got to travel as well. So that could be a plus for us.
Pete, you could jump back in.
Cutoff point for Kyle Allen, like you did for Dwayne Haskins?
I didn't have a cutoff point for Dwayne Haskins. When I made a decision based on what I was watching and what I was seeing. And that's what happened. Okay. So with Kyle, there's, I'm going to go as long as I feel that I can. And again, it's about watching him and seeing what am I seeing what I need to see or not? Again, there was no drop dead that if he wasn't doing, if this didn't happen here or that didn't know. What I was looking at was watching him and watching and looking for growth and a progression and a development, that type of stuff. That's why I made the decision I made. I had no cutoff.
Good, JP.
Ron, does just the kind of the continued state of the division and your ability to stay competitive in there impact the decision with the quarterback still?
No. Again, we're like I told you guys, we're going in to compete, and we're going to compete, and we're going to compete, and we're going to compete, we're going to compete, and we're going to play to win. That's the way I look at it. Who I think is going to give us the best opportunity to win is what I'm going to go with. And I think that, that's something I'm trying to get across is that, we have an opportunity to win right now and be competitive in the division. And that's what I'm playing for. The intent is to win every game you play. I'd love to win all 16 games. That can't happen right now. I'd love to win the rest of the games we play. And that's the way I'll approach it as we go forward.
Thank you.
Let's go Nikki and then Wino.
Ron, with Kyle Allen in the game and a half you've seen, in what ways has his experience in the offense and just his knowledge in the system really helped the offense the most, do you think?
I think sustaining the success and being able to move the ball consistently, that's probably the biggest thing. We had three sustained drives to put points up on the board. And I think that's, I think that's what you want. You want that sustained success so that you can move the ball systematically downfield. You can move the ball and control the clock, keep the defense off the field, your defense off the field. That's what Kyle's done consistently for us so far.
And have you seen areas where he's improved from your time together in Carolina?
Yeah, I mean, with the exception of the interception, you see him to make better decisions. I was going to say, you really haven't seen him force the ball, but that's what the interception was. He got fooled on a coverage and then basically forced the ball into really what was a high-low in terms of coverage. They had a guy underneath and a guy on top. And, it's one of those things, of course, that happened, but you do see him being more consistent. You do see him sustaining the success in the drives.
Hey, Ron, I think it was after week 4 you said that you saw this division as being winnable. Was there a moment where you either kind of saw other teams or saw your team in this division where you're like, this division is winnable this year?
I'm not sure if I get your question.
Was there a certain moment where you kind of realized this is a competitive division and there was kind of a shift to we can win this division?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking at it. As I broke the year down, I mean, I looked at there was this game. I break the season down into quarters, and looked at where we could be in the first 4 games, looked at where it could be in the next 4 games, and then so on and so on. And when we got to the second week, I mean the second quarter, and having seen what I saw, and then looking at the division, I thought, wow, here's a chance to do something, and I just think that we have to take advantage and take a shot.
Do you wind up scoreboard watching at all when you see like a Giants-Eagles game Thursday night, or are you just so focused on your team and what it can do?
No, I do try to pay attention to what's going on in our division during the games. It's important to know what's happening within your division.
We'll take 3 more. Con, Rhiannon, and Matt Parrish.
Hey, Ron, I'm curious. You've made a lot of talk about, wanting to instill the how to win and all that. How long can that take for you to see a team adopt that mentality the way you want it to?
There's no telling. I mean, when we were in Carolina, we had the dubious distinction of being 3-13 on games that were decided by 6 points or less my first 2 years. And part of it was me understanding and learning how to win as well. And I think we really kind of got it going into my 3rd season. We started doing some things that really helped us. Players, really started, almost had this fearlessness about them. And there's confidence, that, hey, just get us the ball and, we can score, or, hey, we need to stop, we'll get a stop. We need a takeaway, we'll get a takeaway. That type of attitude and mentality. Sometimes you get into, oh, here we go again. Oh, yeah, it's that same old, that's the negative stuff that goes on. And you want to break that habit or that feeling or that sense that the negative stuff's going to take over. And that's kind of the thing that we have to get past is, we can't keep expecting and waiting for the negative things to happen.
I'm on if Rhiannon's not on.
Go for it, man.
Yeah. Ron, what was the biggest difference you saw in those sustained drives? What allowed you guys to have those 10 play drives, and where did you see that kind of execution you were hoping to see?
Well, we converted on third downs. I think we were right around 50%, if not a little over 50% last week on third downs, and that's big. Our first and second downs, we had success where we put ourselves in second and short, and then we ended up in third and shorts. When you're converting that way, that's huge, and it gives you an opportunity to maintain the ball. And then when we went forward on fourth downs twice, we converted both times, and so that's also important, is that you go out and you can do that, so you can keep the ball and keep it going forward. That's part of being successful and sustaining success.
Heather, last one.
Hey, Coach. How do you explain to young guys how important a rivalry is? And secondarily, do you have any specific memories of the Washington-Dallas rivalry, be it players or specific moments?
I do know that, some of the, some of the Thanksgiving stuff was always pretty good. And just watching that more so than anything else, that's always gets your attention at just how big this rivalry is. And when you talk to young players, you're going to tell them, hey guys, this rivalry is as big as any college rivalry you played in. A lot of these guys played in some pretty big ones. We got Alabama guys that have played in the Iron Bowl. We got Ohio State guys that played Ohio State and Michigan. We got Cal and Stanford guys that played in the big game. So it's that type of rivalry, and hopefully that translates and they understand just the significance and importance. But also more importantly, this is a divisional game, and we've got to understand, to win the division, you've got to win within the division.